Check. 1, 2, 3.
The D. Brief. This is the D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's arts
and entertainment scene.
This is the D
Brief.
Thank you. Welcome to the Debrief. We are Detroit's arts and entertainment podcast. I am your co-host. My name is Seth Ressler.
And I'm Becky Scarcello.
And for those of you who have never heard the podcast, we're excited because this is our very first time performing in front of a live studio audience. Thank you for having us. We are here at Go Comedy in Ferndale. This is an absolutely fantastic venue. I just saw a show here last week. I love being here. Our guest tonight is one of the 4 founders of this place. We'll talk to him a little bit. But before we get to that, we do want to let you know a little bit about our podcast in case you've never heard it. We are, like I said, an arts and entertainment podcast. We basically talk about everything that's going on in the city of Detroit and the metro area around. So everything in food and drink and music.
Art.
Yep, stand-up comedy.
Plays.
Theater, you name it. So if you like going out and having a good time,
or
please.
you just like to pretend that you know what's going on and feel cool.
Right. We like to think of ourselves as the cure for FOMO.
Yeah.
Right? We will make you cooler than your friends because you can talk about all sorts of stuff that's going on around the city. We publish 3 episodes a week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Our episodes are about what's coming up in the next week in terms of events. And then on Thursday, we do an in-depth interview, a deep dive with somebody like we're going to do here tonight. I do want to say thank you to Joe Saul-Sehi from the Stacking Benjamins podcast. It was really great of them to invite us out on the show. And we're also very pleased to be sharing the stage with Shannon Kaysen, who's an absolutely fantastic storyteller. And if you've never seen him before or heard him before, you are in for a treat tonight. Want to let you know that we're going to be having our own live show, so you can come out and see us, where we'll be headlining. That'll be November 12th.
Yep, at Easter Market Brewing Company, down in Easter Market.
Has anybody been to Easter Market Brewing yet? Oh,
they're also just celebrated their 1 year.
Yes, so they are brand new. Eastern Market is becoming an absolutely fantastic place to go out. You do tours there, during.
I do. I work for Feet on the Street Tours, Detroit, so I also am a tour guide in town. I love all the street art and all the things going on, so this all fits in perfectly.
Yeah, so please come out and join us on November 12th. Also want to let you know that we have a mobile app that you can download called The Debrief, available on iPhone or Android. You can also pull us up on your Amazon Echo. All you have to do is say, Alexa, enable the Debrief podcast. All right. So thank you for having us. We want to invite to the stage one of the founders of Go Comedy, this fantastic venue that is about to celebrate their 10-year anniversary. He is the technical director here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Tommy LeRoy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
It's so awkward to walk up on this stage for me.
Is it really? Because you're usually behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
This is not normally your home, right?
No.
Yeah.
So tell us what happens here for the people who haven't been here before.
I mean, everything. We do, obviously, podcasts, and improv is our mainstay. That is the thing that we started with. That was, part of our mission statement when we first opened, was to have a good, safe place for improv, and we've been doing it for 10 years now, and our Saturday show, some Fridays and most Saturdays, is the Go Comedy All-Star Showdown. And it's kind of like the TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway? But we have teams that play for audience members, so you get to win prizes and great things. But that show's been going for 10 years now, which is insane for us.
That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about the history and how it started?
Sure. I mean, we were there's 4 of us who started the theater. PJ Jacokes is a good friend of mine. Christy Angelo, kind of a good friend. No, he's a good guy. And then Gerald Knight, who approached PJ after he had posted something on Facebook saying that he was going into a life change or a career change and basically get out of doing improv. And Gerald approached him and was like, hey, do you want to open a theater? And so, you can't say no when somebody offers that to you. So he and PJ and Chris and Gerald got together and started to come up with an idea, and they came up with the name of it. And then when we started looking for a space, they brought me into it. And we looked at a bunch of places in the area. And this used to be Secretary of State, and it was haunted by the souls of people waiting in line. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was so imagine. I mean, you look at it now, and it is a theater now. Like we did a lot of work in the space, but it was a drop ceiling at 8 feet. That was the standard nasty drop ceiling, wood paneling everywhere, and the carpeting had a row of wear pattern where people stood in line to get up
For
to the thing.
hours.
Oh, it was so bad. It was awful. So when we came in, we popped some tiles and looked, and we saw we had the space, and we were like, this is it. And we fell in love with it immediately. And then for 8 years after, people would still come in when we would be open and ask if they could get their license renewed.
And you told them to have a seat for a few
Yeah, we did.
hours. Yeah.
We made a lot of money off those people. No.
Can you talk to us a little bit about improv? If people are new to that, what the principles are and how it works.
Sure. I mean, improv is, it really is, we like to look at it as an art form, and it really is. You can learn technique. I kind of liken it to Bob Ross. Bob Ross is an amazing painter. He has an amazing technique that he's able to teach other people, but he also has a whole lot of talent. So if you have both of those sides of it, if you learn the technique and you are just a funny person, then you really can make your way in improv. But improv is very much a team game. It's ensemble, and it's working with other people. And the main rule base of it is called yes and. And so if we're on stage together and I say, hey, sister, if you say, I'm not your sister, then there's no place to go
not
from
going
there.
anywhere.
So
Yeah.
you say, yes, oh, hi, brother, and then you and me something else. And I'm not going to do that because I'm not an improviser, really.
Me neither.
I'm the guy who
But you can identify good improv versus bad improv.
yeah. Yeah, I get to do the auditions and watch people and say, yes, you can be in our shows or no. But
Will you talk a little bit about the state of the improv scene in Detroit and how it's changed in the 10 years that you've been here?
It's insane. I mean, it's been even longer than that. If you go 10 years before that, Second City was pretty much the only thing in town when it started. And then the Planet Ant really boosted everything and was another venue and a good place for the Second City is very much a company, and they really know how to produce shows and get people in. And they were in the space downtown for 10 years and then moved out to Novi after that. But the Ant was like the love of theater and the love of improv, and so that was a really great home and a great place for a lot of people. And then it just kind of went from there. Ann Arbor opened up Improv Inferno, and that was a friend of ours, and that's actually where PJ and Gerald had met. And then, since we opened up, there's been comedy sports inside the Actors, I think it's the Actors Studio. There's also been Pointless Theater and Brewery in Ann Arbor, and I think there's more stuff now that I don't even know about. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Tough to keep up.
Yeah, it's nuts. It has grown so much. Like when we first opened, we had maybe 3 classes, I think, at any given time, and now we have about it's between a dozen and 18 classes at any given time, year round. So it's crazy.
So speaking of moving parts and things changing, in the 10 years you've been here in Ferndale, there's been a lot of change in Ferndale.
Yeah.
Talk about how it's been to do business here. And
Well, it's actually been. We opened in the worst time you possibly could. It was right when nobody had money. So we were a good escape for people. So they got to come out and see shows for cheap and get liquored up for cheap and have a good time. So that was that we felt like we were able to help people as well as live out our dreams of being on stage and having people laugh at us in a good way. But Ferndale has grown, and I mean, so many businesses have come and gone too. There's been a lot of cycling over. Our side of 9 Mile is still kind of small. We don't get a whole lot of walk-up traffic, but we do have a couple new restaurants in the area, and they're starting to develop even more down here. So it's a work in progress, but it's going, man. It's crazy.
I know that one of the things that you guys have worked on a lot and has grown quite a bit over the years is the Detroit Improv Festival. Will you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we were it was PJ and Chris and I. We started the first one when it was spontaneous combustion. Matt, you're gonna have to like help me nod if I'm saying something completely wrong. Just do one of these and I'll shut up. Because I'm terrible with remembering dates or anything like that. But has it been? How many have we done? Is it 5 or 8? Pete, do you know? 8. So this is our 8th year. The last one that's right, because it was Diff 8 that just passed, and it's crazy. We bring in people from all over the world, and we try to usually have about 3 venues for people to see shows at, and all within walking distance of the area. So you can come and grab a show here, grab a show there, and see things you'd never see before.
Do you have favorite memories or like super magical shows in the last 10 years or something?
Boy.
You know,
I mean,
good
everyone.
Stories. Well, yeah.
No. For me, it's always moments more than it is shows. Because our show changes every night, there's things, and if you've been in the back, we've got things written everywhere, most of them too dirty for me to repeat right now, of things that people set up on stage that just like,
That's
it
funny.
blew us away. So we keep notes of everything on the wall back there. But I mean, that's a tough question of pulling something specifically out. I had a huge amount of fun with the puppet show that I got to direct and be part of here. We would do lots of vignettes and songs and lots of fun stuff like that. So.
Let me ask you, if somebody wants to get into the world of improv, both as somebody who wants to become a fan, but also if somebody wants to maybe become an improv actor, where would you recommend that they start?
So, I mean, we do, I'm obviously going to say our classes, but we have ones if you've never been on stage before, you can start there, or if you're a seasoned actor, you can come in and learn some new skills. We do so basic and advanced as well as...
Do you see that a lot? Do you see seasoned actors from around town coming in?
Every once in a while, yeah. It is probably less often that somebody just wants to hone their skills if they're already an actor. But with our audition process, that's sometimes we do get that one person that we're like, I have no idea who that was. We've never seen them before, but they're awesome, and so bring them into the fold. But so every once in a while, there's a couple of gems in the rough that you're like, wow, where did that person come from? But the classes are a great way because you can learn the basics from day one, and it's interesting how the class group, they bond because we keep them together throughout the levels of classes, and they end up forming troops and going on. And there's been a lot of people that have moved from classes into our house teams, and we coach some people and stuff like that. So.
And as a spectator, if there's anybody here who maybe this is their first time in Go Comedy and they want to come back again to see what happens.
Yeah,
there.
well, there's two options. You can come back just to enjoy a show, and that's Wednesday through Sunday. We've got something going on every night, and we also do. I kind of call it improv karaoke, where it's our jams, and you can come and sign up. And if you've never tried it before, you come and get up on stage, and our hosts will explain what the game is and basically how to do it, and you can try it out and see if it's something that tickles your fancy, and you can come back and take classes. Or
sounds scary and fun. Do you have special plans for your 10-year anniversary?
Yeah, Wednesday, the 7th of November is the beginning of our week, and we've got shows and drink specials and casts from when we opened 10 years ago. So we're bringing back our Dare Shot menu for one thing. So the best one on there was the what was the Bloody Mary one called? Hot one? No, it's Bloody Mary mix. I think it's tequila, but it has a mayonnaise rim on it. So BLT. That's it. Oh, it's a bacon vodka. Okay. That's what it was. Yeah, it's bacon vodka.
It's a meal in a glass.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's awful. But you dare somebody to take it, and if they don't, then
I'd try it.
Yeah.
I know that you also recently lost one of your founding members.
Yeah. Gerald, who I spoke of, he actually passed away last month in just a very random, had a heart attack and passed away. So
yeah, we're really sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
Are there any memories you can share? Or
I mean, Gerald was he was a strange duck. You got to be weird if you're going to come to somebody and be like, "Hey, do you want to open a theater?" Right. So he was an unusual guy, and it showed in his text messages. He would text us like the most. He had a teenager's vocabulary on it. He would use every, acronym and everything.
An
that,
R and a U instead of
everything
spelling it
like that.
out
But then it would also be very random stuff. And when we first opened, he would sign every email and every text with, he would put Aaron Gray at the end of it, the actress Aaron Gray. And so we were like, what are you doing? And he's just
from
like,
Buck Rogers?
He's like, I love
is that
Aaron
the
Gray.
one? From,
Yes.
And for anybody who doesn't know.
So when we opened, I actually got a picture of her as I can't remember her character's name from Buck Rogers, and I think it's actually still up on the wall back there. And like he walked past it for months, and I stopped him. I'm like, hey, did you see that? And he's like, who's that? I'm like, oh my god, seriously, dude. So, takes one.
Well, we'd like to play a little game with you. It's probably a little bit different than the games that you normally play here. Are you game to play something with us?
Sure, of course.
It's not scary.
It's not scary. This is something we do with all of our guests that come on the show. We ask them for rapid fire recommendations.
All right.
So we are going to ask you to, just name something and tell us the first thing that comes to mind.
All right.
And give us, a couple sentences about why you chose that.
All right, cool.
All right. Is everybody ready in the audience?
All right.
All right.
Pressure's on.
Yeah.
Where in the Metro Detroit area is your favorite place to see shows that are scripted?
Ooh. I mean, you put me on the spot. I have to say here. So I'm going to skip over Go Comedy for everything because I'll mention it because we do some scripted shows here, and we are doing our holiday show coming up soon. Man, I mean, my favorite place is the Ringwald right down the street. They're an amazing group of people. I love those guys over there. They've been here as long as we have. They opened, I think, 6 months before we did, and we became friends with them really quick. And they do a lot of like really irreverent, unusual shows. They do a lot of like really good drama. But right now they're doing Clue, which is amazing. It's great. You have to.
We've had them on our show.
Yeah, they're great guys.
Yeah.
If you could improv with any Detroit celebrity,
Oh boy.
who would it be and why?
Let's throw in living or dead.
Living or dead? I mean, I would have to say, this is just going way back, but George the Animal Steele. I just want to meet him. He's fantastic. He would, that would be awesome.
Okay, how about, so you've seen a show at Go Comedy, and you want to go out and have drinks after.
Okay.
Favorite place?
Favorite place? Locally, Valentine is a really good place. They've got they're getting huge with their brewery over there, or not brewery, distillery.
Distillery.
They're getting really big over there, and we've got a good relationship with them. Booze wise, we serve a lot of their stuff here, but they're a super nice place. I like that place over there.
Perfect.
Do you have a favorite Detroit musical artist?
That's a hard one. I mean, Meatloaf is fantastic, but Seeger is like the old man in me, like.
See, we were just talking about Bob Seger on the show this week. And
Didn't he just come out with a new album too?
Well, and he has a street named
He's
after
got a
him.
street named after
I
him.
heard that on the
in
news.
Allen Park,
Yeah.
so.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about, okay, so everyone's making their own Detroit t-shirt line, right?
Yeah.
What would yours say?
Ooh, mine would say Detroit. Why not? And everybody's so forceful about them. They're like, yeah, Detroit. I'm like, hey, why not? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Tommy LeRoy. He is the technical director
Got me.
here at Go Comedy. Tommy, thank you so much for coming on the show. And once again, we want to say thank you to the guys at Stacking Benjamins for having us on. This is absolutely fantastic. Thank you to all of you for making our first live show so great. I am Seth Ressler.
Becky Scarcello.
And please check out the podcast. Until then, Detroit's moving.
Keep up.
The D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.